The chaos at the South Africa-Mozambique border is something out of a dystopian movie. Corruption, smuggling, endless queues, and a growing humanitarian crisis. It's all happening right here.
Gunshots coming from the Mozambican side.
The diesel that is being stolen, they are being targeted by criminals. They have no food, they have no water, they have no place to bath.
Criminals are taking us, they pull the trailer brakes, they stop the truck, they attack us, take everything in the truck and your money too.
What
went wrong? And why does no one seem to have control? Crossing the Mozambique-South African border, particularly at the Lebombo border post, often results in long lines. However, while innocent travelers suffer the long queues and long waiting times, an underground network of criminals is thriving. Fuel smuggling, trafficking, stolen cars, hijackings. This border is an open highway for organized crime. And with corrupt officials on both sides, stopping it is nearly impossible. Subscribe and hit that notification bell. Let's dive deep into this madness. This is the Lebombo mountain range that separates Mozambique and South Africa. No wires due to the South African government's lack of interest in securing borders. It wasn't always like this. Back in the 80s, when apartheid was in full effect in South Africa, rebels used to cross this border back and forth, but then an electrical fence was erected. This was horrible because this fence often took the lives of those trying to cross the border. But in 1990, the fence was switched off, an act that was urged by human rights activists. But this created new challenges: crime and lawlessness. Vehicle theft, armed robberies, and illegal immigration are just some of the crimes that saw a surge in the past decade.
Car smuggling remains a thorny issue for communities living along South Africa's borderlines.
We managed to recover about 9 vehicles so far. We also recovered suspected stolen firearms at the border. And in those vehicles, that's something that I should mention, we also recovered parts of vehicles that are suspected to have been stolen. And we also recovered some illicit goods, including illicit cigarettes.
In just the first 4 months of last year, 2024, it was estimated that over 50 vehicles were smuggled into Mozambique. Although authorities in neighboring countries are working with South Africa to ensure this criminal activity ends, the truth about this high-risk border is that it stands out as one of South Africa's security failures, which criminal syndicates take advantage of. The Manguzi side of the border that's in KZN has also seen many victims reporting similar crimes with nothing being done by the local police in that area. This area has been plagued by cross-border violence for a long time. Back in 2018, local residents rioted because of these cross-border crimes. They were demanding that the police do more. However, they didn't. A man and his 2 sons were held at gunpoint. 6 men ambushed them at their home, demanded car keys, took their 2 cars, then shoved the 2 boys and their father into the boot and took them for a ride. They left them at the edge of the border. Luckily, none of them were harmed. The criminals drove into Mozambique. Another man was left traumatized when these over-the-border culprits ambushed him in his home and took his car along with other household items. His car had a tracker on it. When authorities tracked it, it was heading over the border to Mozambique, then it shut down. Did they manage to find the tracker and remove it?
Yabona nje impilo yami kusukela ngo2020 kuze manje ayikaze ifane njengoba yayiyo kusukela ku2020. Imoto ngangiyibhadala kodwa iinsurance yagcina seyikhokhele. Ya basho bona bathi bayibona ngoba iwelela ngaphesheya emnceleni waseMozambique. Kusukela lapho ke sengathi ayingena emahlathini kuphela ke network.
Police have so far identified that there is a car smuggling syndicate that's behind all these crimes. This man, who chose to remain anonymous and is part of this syndicate, he revealed some of their secrets and motivations.
Indaba zimali, uthanda imali nezi. No into eyenzeka ngabona umuntu ephethe imali lathi hayi ndoda ulele bheka imali siyithola kanjani. Ngathi akunithola ngani bese washo ukuthi hayi no. Siwele simoto kanje nje so ke ngase nami ngena from lapho. Yena mawaphathele imali bekana. Bese bakhona cause ngalekathi mhlawumbe uthi udlula imoto sesikoleni. Ukubona ukuphazamisa ukuthi imali masezuyithola. Moyibone ewindweni yakho idlula. Kwambe ukuthi ngibheka amaphoyisa ngaphi noma soja around the fencing and then besingavuleli fence bangena. Malapha ngeke uzuye kahle lapha moya lapha kumele ukuthi abantu uyakubo uxhumene nabo labo bakhona abaphakathi cause akwazi uvela uhambe bangakwazi. Cause ngeke uzubuye lapha especially le moto ngeke izibuye. and once wangena waphezulu masubuya khona into ezobe bayifakile emgwaqeni lawa bekunehla kwamatayeri ezokwenza ukuthi kumele ikhathi ubhizi namatayeri unakamatayeri hayi sebabamba wena-ke bathatha imoto le bafaka babo bayiweyisa nabakulahlela ngale awusenamafula.
There are also police officials who work with these syndicates. A former immigration officer revealed this information, but chose to remain anonymous for obvious reasons, fear of losing his life.
Ngoba nesikhathi la igebengu zasifuna ukungibulala noma ukungibulala zifikile ekhaya ngalibika udaba emaphoyiseni amaphoyisa afika ngigada usuku lokuqala. Usuku lesibili ngase ngithola-ke ukuthi omunye wamaphoyisa noma abanye bamaphoyisa basebenzisana nazo lezi gebengu bezifuna ukungibulala. Ngaziprovela-ke ngoba ngafona ngafaka i-loudspeaker ngifonela umuntu okwazi ukukhuluma nesigebengu wasitshela yonke into nanokuthi amaphoyisa ayekade ngosuku olwedlule bengigadile bengitshela ukuthi angihambe ngiyolala ngo-12 and esho yonke leyo nto ukuthi amaphoyisa amtshelile ukuthi angiyolala ngo-12 yonke lento ngase ngibona ukuthi no impilo yami isengozini ngase ngicela ukuthi bangasuke bangasangigadi. Kuthe ngemva kwalokho ngathola i-call ngabo 11-12 ebusuku isuka kuye lobo ngane obefuna ukungibulala esho ukuthi uzwile ukuthi ngiwaxoshiye amaphoyisa. Kwafakazeleka-ke ukuthi ngempela amaphoyisa anesandla kulento. Kwangikhathaza-ke ngoba ngaba nesifiso sokuthi ube kuthiwa kuyenzeka bekufanele i-intelligent yezwe iyazi ngalokhu ngoba asiphephile uma kunjena.
However, a project to build a concrete barrier at the border worth 85 million rands was started, but the construction has since been halted due to corruption allegations. But recently, the KZNMEC, Mr. Siboniso Duma, has revealed that the construction of this concrete wall will resume, with plans of finishing this year 2025. But ever since the building of the barrier stopped, the local community there has mobilized, and working with local police, they have formed a neighborhood watch. Back in the Lebombo side of the border, a town called Woodspreight, there also is a local neighborhood watch that works with the local police. But even though that is so, cars still get smuggled into Mozambique at the highway. What happens is these thieves steal or hijack cars from the surrounding areas. Some of them get sold whole, while some are stripped for parts which will also be sold. But who buys these stolen cars and car parts, and where do they go?
Lento kahle ileyo ngeke uzuyithola ngoba kahle lezi moto khona eMozambique zifikela khona. Isigcina seziko-Malawi, Lesotho, kuphi Limpopo akusizi ukuthi i-bridge kahle elula ukuthi izinto zingenele khona akusizi ukuthi ngoba ziya khona straight. Zedlula zemazweni amabili.
The consequences of these unguarded borders is more severe than just stolen cars. Nearby game reserves and local businesses are always under siege. The local neighborhood watch is always armed when they go out for patrols, because in the past, shootouts have happened since these criminals also carry firearms themselves. The neighborhood watch has even resorted to using guard dogs and helicopters to help monitor the situation at this side of the border. The situation is serious. According to security tasked with tracking down stolen vehicles, the Mozambique gangs have also started to kidnap victims too. But there is a little bit of light at the end of this tunnel. As of recent reports, security at the Lebombo border post is currently heightened due to ongoing unrest in Mozambique, with the Border Management Authority remaining on alert for further disturbances and prepared to potentially close the border again if necessary. But if it wasn't for the unrest in Mozambique, would the government take note? The disinterest of the South African government to secure its borders is having serious consequences, especially on the border towns, local businesses and residents of those towns. Thanks to local crime prevention groups that continue to put their lives on the line for the protection of others. Is it time to put the electric fence back on? What do you think? If you like this video, then you'll love this one linked on the top right of your screen. Otherwise, hit that like button and subscribe for more. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.